Hello, Curveballs. Hi, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Lisa and I am the Curvy Cuban and I focus primarily on artistic eye looks. I like to dupe palettes, and today we are doing a video all about the brows. Now, this has been a highly requested brow routine. In the past, I have never done a brow routine because I was never confident enough in the way that I do my brows to share them with you all. But now, after having been doing them for quite a while the same way and loving the way that they come out, I'm going to go ahead and share with you a few of the brow basics that I learned along my makeup journey, and hopefully it will help you decide if you want to find your own favorite brow routine for yourself that works for you. So this is by no means me saying how brows should be done. It's just my way of showing you how I do my brows. And if you like them, you should just keep on watching. But before you do, don't forget to tap subscribe, hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of my future uploads, and go ahead and throw me a thumbs up if you like eyebrows.
Because the only person who doesn't is, Jeffree Star.
Let's get in to this video. To start off with your basic brow, I find it helpful,
Although some might say cheating,
to get a brow stencil. If it is your first time trying to figure out your brow shape or how you want your brows to appear, I actually found a set of stencils by Too Faced at TJ Maxx long time ago. I am almost 99.9% positive you could probably search for some in Amazon and just get some. They had 3 different styles of brows. And in this set, it's called the Too Faced Brow Envy Brow Shaping and Defining Kit. So I've got one that's called So Sweet, one that's called Too Pretty, and one that's called Super Sexy. Now, naturally, I have brows to fill the Super Sexy, which is the largest of them. So if you were to put a brow stencil on my current brow, these are way skinnier than the hair that I already have there. So I did not want to diminish the brow hair that I already had. I did not want to shave that off. There's some that are super tiny, I guess if you have no brows. I took the brow shape that I felt that would best help me, and I placed the front portion on my brow in the direction that I wanted to see it go. But first, let me comb the brow up. That's the first step to do. So then once I have placed this brow in the direction of which I want my brow to appear, I then take some brow powder, and I'm going to use the lightest shade, and I'm just going to kind of fill in that front part of the brow. The back half of the brow is detached, so you can kind of angle it if you want it here, however you want the shape of your arch to go. Now, I am going to just kind of angle it. I want a little bit of a peak right here, but I don't want it to go too far down to look unnatural. And then I'm going to take the flat part of a little brow brush, use the darker portion. So there I have the basic outline of the brow that I like. This is the point in which this comes in handy. These are one of those little brow tools. You can find them at Walmart, you can find them at TJ Maxx, Marshalls, and it's just like a little brow razor. And once you've outlined the shape of the brow that you like, you can then trim your brows all the way around it, so you will then have that brow shape. So in my case, I just go right underneath here, anywhere that there's hairs occurring outside of this shape that I've already placed. And I get rid of all the little baby hairs I do not like. That is how I originally shaped my brow. I used my brow stencil for a long while until I got used to my own brow shape and how to do my brows. Let's pretend like I did not use a stencil for this brow and I just went ahead and put some brow powder on. The next thing you're gonna do is use the spoolie to comb through and kind of blend together your brow hairs. Now, I don't want the front of my brow to be just so boom, bold, so I brush backwards. And that is how I get the fade to start. And then I brush them back in place. Now, unbelievably enough, my favorite little brow powder is from BH Cosmetics. It's called the Flawless Brow Trio Brow Defining Kit. And the whole reason I love it is because of the little brow brush it comes with. This sharp part right here is so razor thin, absolutely effortless for me to do my brows. And it has a lighter brow powder, a darker brow powder, and a cream product. So usually I would start with the brow powder, the darkest one, and I would go up on top to kind of define how I want my brow, but not too close to the front because I don't want that to look blocky. And then around the curve and flick down. Then I get a little bit more product and I do the same thing on the bottom. Around the arch and I flick it down. And I take whatever remaining product is left and I just kind of stroke it towards the front to still give it definition, but I don't want it to be as bold as the back end of the brow. Now, I'm not sure what you would call my brow style because it's somewhat like an Instagram brow where it is defined, but I don't find it as blocky as a lot of the Instagram brows. And I am covering where my actual natural brow hair is. I'm just kind of, like I said, making it more defined. So I guess I like a brow with a lot of definition and shape, like obvious shape. So then I take the lightest brow powder shade with the rounded tip, and then I go right to the front of the brow again. So after you practice doing this for weeks on end, months on end, however long you need a brow stencil, eventually you will know your shape well enough to just comb your brows up, give it a little trim, and go to town on your lines. So same thing on the bottom. And I'll just take my spoolie and blend the product into my brow. Now that's not quite as defined as I would like it, so I'm going to squeeze the tip of my brush to make it flatter. And I'm going to go back in with some of the cream product this time. And blend the product in. Using the rounded tip of the brush again, I'm going into the lighter shade of the powder to bring the front of my brow. And then I'm going to go into the darker shade for the back end of my brow. And blend. When I look from a distance, I notice that this brow looks a little bit thicker than this one. And this is where we carve out our brows with our concealer. So I have from Laura Mercier a little concealer. It's called SC2, Secret Camouflage Concealer from Laura Mercier. Looks like this. So I have my favorite brow brush, which is not actually a brow brush. It's actually artist brush that I found at Hobby Lobby when I was trying to do face painting at Halloween time. And it is super razor thin. And so I just pick up some product and I just begin to shape the underneath. And my key to doing great brows is to have the razor thin brushes to really guide where you want it to go. Sometimes I lift my brow up a little bit, make my skin taut, so I can really shape it. And now I feel like they're more of an even shape. And I'll just bring this product down. Sometimes I'll carve out the top, sometimes I won't. I really like to make my tail sharp at the end. And I just kind of blend the rest of the excess product into the skin, like so. Now I'm quickly gonna do the other side. And that is how I carve out my brows. So I'm not gonna worry about the excess product that is around my brows because I have not done my foundation yet. I do have a foundation brush from It Cosmetics, which is dual ended. It has this small end here and a bigger end here. And I like to take the smaller end and just use it as a buffer slash blender without putting any product on it whatsoever. All I'm doing is buffing the concealer into the skin so it doesn't look like I have a highlighted blocky brow. So now I'm going to go ahead and do the rest of my face makeup, and we'll be back to see the final brow look once everything has been said and done. And that, my dear friends, was my brow routine. I hope you enjoyed this video. Hope you found it informative. If you did, don't forget to tap that subscribe button, hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of my future uploads, and throw me a thumbs up if you have eyebrows. And just leave it at that. If there's any other specific tutorials you would like me to explain as to how I do my makeup, leave it down in the comments below. Until next time, stay curvy and stay considerate, and I'll see you in a week. Bye. Say it like that. If I hate you, then find someone new. Baby, but you know